So last weekend was a pretty stacked weekend. There was in fact one movie that slipped under the radar. Only heard about it from the comments section. In fact, there's a comment that says petition for a review for A24's Warfare, which at the time of filming this has 622 likes. Not to put too much pressure on you all, but I will expect no less than 622 views on this video. If we don't hit that, I might not trust again. But hey, let's make up for lost time. Let's review Warfare a week late. So Warfare is written and directed by Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza. Alex Garland, the director of last year's Civil War. Ray Mendoza is actually an Iraq War vet, which is interesting. When I heard about that element of it, my mind immediately went back to 2012's Act of Valor, in which the hook was on screen. The characters are played by real Navy SEALs. I guess Ray Mendoza was one of them. And this is A24 does another war film, and it definitely does feel like A24 does a war film. The gist is it's based on a true story. It's a platoon of Navy SEALs in 2006 during the war in Iraq who are in this house. Then the enemy starts moving in and attacking them, and they're just trying to get out alive. Which might be an oversimplification, but that's what you need in order for me to proceed on accordingly in this review. And now I had heard this movie was amazing, which let me know one thing. I have to see it before it becomes too overhyped. When the movie started out, I was like, all right, it's gonna be one of these movies. It's not gonna have a lot of momentum. It's gonna be kind of slow being more realistic. That's life sometimes. Just wait for it. And I gotta say, the first half of this movie or so, it's not a long movie. I do appreciate that. It's 90 minutes. And it's not that the first half is actually slow per se. It's what we call deliberately paced. But when I reflect on it, what I would call it is very real. The whole movie feels real. The camaraderie, the bullshitting, you kind of feel that feeling of some of the soldiers feeling this restlessness. But when they notice there are people looking at this building and getting on their phones and they're like, I think we've been figured out. There's this swell of anxiety that just starts to rise. And the anxiety might change forms as the film goes on. But that's what I would say this movie is. A swell of anxiety for 90 minutes. And that first half definitely does do its part to build to that. When it pops off, it pops off. The anxiety doesn't stop. There's just more bullets now. And at a point, you see the real star of this movie. This movie actually has some actors in it. Well, I didn't expect to see them. Michael Gandolfini, Will Poulter, Joey Quinn. Joseph Quinn. Joey Quinn, character in Dexter. Joseph Quinn, Human Torch, Master of Puppets. Everyone in the movie clocks in to do a great job, aided by the fact that they have a crew there helping them actually make the military essence and presence feel more authentic. But I'm telling you, the sound design in Warfare, Hollywood's gonna have to have some audio bangers to go toe-to-toe with Warfare this year. The bullets are scarier, the explosions, only a couple of them in the movie, but when they happen, you're glad there's only a couple of them in the movie. That show of force where the jet does a low flyby, all of it feels so real. Yeah, it doesn't sound real. That's the thing about sound. It can sound a certain way, but how does it feel? Yeah, it sounds great. It feels fucking real. Even when this one explosion goes off and it's going to the other characters and you hear the audio from their POV while the camera's on them and it's doing the thing where the audio's all dulled, everything sounds all muffled. But I'm telling you, I don't think I was imagining this. It felt like the muffling was different for each of the characters. I like the thought of someone was there going, well, that person was closer, so it would be more muffled. That person was a little farther away, still muffled, has a bit more high frequency that you can hear. War is a thing you can only imagine, and even then, your imagination can only take you so far without experiencing it. But once in a while, a movie might come along to give you a better perspective of what soldiers actually go through. And I appreciate this movie for that. And that's the real point of this film. That's the heart and soul of it right there. I can think of more fun war movies out there, more entertaining war films that I can pop on and enjoy. But Warfare was one of the more effectively scary, anxiety-inducing, and claustrophobic feeling war films I have felt in a very long time. War movies come in all shapes and sizes. This isn't even a big scale war movie. It's a war situation in a war, but it's much more personal than saying, hey, it's a war movie. This movie, better than most I can think of, does a great job at illustrating that there are no winners in war, and what you're seeing is actually horrific is horrifying. It's hell. Which might sound like a lot of war movies you could think of, and you'd be right to think of them. But in the case of Warfare, it feels like that bombastic Hollywood pomp has been stripped away, and what we're watching is a more realistic take of the situation. And to be honest, death feels closer than ever. That mixed with a sound design that all but made me duck and cover. I gotta say, Warfare is awesome-tacular. No one pulled out their cell phones in this movie. It's that engaging. Thanks for the suggestion. I appreciate you. Thanks, Slow Ride Ty. Wait, who's this guy who says he thinks I'm afraid to review this movie? Or so Warfare, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your top tier war film? Or show? I don't want to exclude Band of Brothers here. Whatever it is, whatever they are, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.